Here, play with this. Play with this. Go, go, tug of war. Go, go, pull it. Come on, you're stronger than that. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Backyard. Today we got a special video for you. Every video special, but today we are working on the Ford Ranger. Let me show you what we're doing. Today what we're doing is we're going to upgrade the shocks in the front and the rear, and we're going to lift it about 2 inches. So let me show you what we got. So we got these Bilstein shocks here for the front and the back, the 4600s. Bilstein is a great brand, recommend it 100%. I did want the 5100s, but they don't make it for the 4x4 model. So we're stuck with the 4600s, but with a 2-inch lift we should be okay. And then for the back, we've got these rear shackles. So you got 2 positions, 1.5 and 2 inch. So if you set it to this first hole, it'll lift 1.5 inches. Set it to this hole, it'll lift 2 inches. The front, we don't have any lift kit or anything like that. This is a torsion spring model. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna crank up the torsion bolts, crank up the keys a little bit, level it out, and then from there we're gonna decide, depending how much we're able to level it out, decide if to go 1.5 or 2 inch. Cranking up the stock keys is gonna be a little bit rougher, but with these shocks, hopefully it should help out and should be good to go. So stay tuned. We're gonna measure from the ground to the fender, Evie charap, to see how high we are currently in stock. I know these have the Ranger lean, so the driver's side might be a little shorter. We're gonna go ahead and level that out. She is not having it right now. What's up, girl? She got a little bit of water that fell out the truck bed. She doesn't like the leash, but she has to get used to it. She has to learn there's no running away. So from the base of the tire, driver's side we're around 33. Passenger side we're around 33.5. And then in the back passenger, we're a little under 36. Driver's side around the same, around 36. So we got our stock wheel off. So we're gonna take off this strut right here. Basically there's a bolt here, kind of got to hold it here, and then there's 2 bolts down here, 1 and 2. I'm gonna take that all off, then we're gonna replace it with this new sexy shock. Before we attempt to take any of those nuts off, we're gonna hit it with some PB Blaster, make our lives easier. Soak that shit. And then down here too. So typically you want to put a wrench right here, but this has nowhere to grab it, no space. Oh yeah. So I grabbed it with the pliers up here, and I'm gonna hit it with a 15 down there.
Sounds pretty doable,
So
right?
here on The Backyard, we don't just fix cars.
We do homework.
We do homework and type essays for each other while sipping on some beer. Today, Tío Rodrigo Michelada, Golden State Cider Jamaica. Somebody sponsor us. Come on, Tío Rodrigo.
And Evie. Alright.
Cheers.
I'm not open, but cheers.
So Danny said if I do his homework, that he'll do this shit for me. So hope you like getting F's, bro.
It's no better than what I get.
We got the top off.
Yeah, look at that.
Sheesh. So now we gotta get the bottom off, and that's just a 1/2 inch, and you can use your impact for that. All right, so Danny managed to get the old one out. We're gonna put the new one in.
The trick was, there's not much clearance on the bottom where the bolts go through, so I grabbed a wrench and I pried it really easily. Came out like in a couple seconds. seconds, not sex.
Yeah.
This is ramen. What's happening?
All right, now we're gonna install the new one in. We have our new hardware here.
That in there. Another bushing washer. All right, so we got that tied in there. This is a watch sponsorship. Now we put the bolts on the bottom. Better. On gold.
You might have to like lift the control arm or some shit.
Oh. So we couldn't get the clearance with the bolts because it was dangling with the control arm. So we went ahead and jacked up the control arm to get a better fitment, and now it's flush.
We got both shocks pretty much in. We tightened the other one already. This one we pretty much got to finish tightening the top so I can stop stuttering. So those bolts are all torqued in. And then basically here, if you just tighten this whole thing is gonna spin. So there's a little Allen key spot on the top. So you want to put your Allen key and then hit it with the wrench like that. I'm doing it with one hand, but I'm gonna do it with both hands and finish tightening this. Basically just want to hand tighten it. This thing's gonna compress to about the same diameter as this washer here. All right, we got both shocks in. We got 2 articles down. I typed 2 of them for him.
3 more to go.
3 more to go. Gotta put the wheel back on, then I'm gonna get under and crank the torsion keys. We basically want it to sit level with the back. So we want to crank it up about 2 inches. I think the back is 36 inches. So we want to make sure it's 36 inches from the ground to the fender. Tio Rodrigo, sponsor me, way. Sponsor me. Somebody. Tio Rodrigo, come on, way. Not bad for a logger out of San Diego.
What should I say about San Diego?
That is not Mexico.
You know, it's one of the first. No, actually, I think the first mission was Santa Barbara.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
You know, actually in school they didn't teach me about missions. I didn't get to do that project. Budget cuts.
I had to build a mission at the church thing.
I didn't.
My dad built it up.
They never taught me about it. Oh, COVID. They never taught me
You know
about
why?
it.
Because Western school things, they only teach you the white.
Tires are back on. We are now gonna go under the truck and crank up the torsion keys. And that is down here. So if we go down here, here's your torsion bar. And if you look right here, that's your stock key. And you basically want to find the bolt. So you follow right here, and it's right there. And there's another one right there. So we're gonna crank them up a few turns at a time. We're gonna give it like 2 turns and see how much height that gives us. Lower the truck and repeat it until we get up to 30. Facing forward. That's quarter, half, three quarters, full turn. All right, so we finished cranking it up. You lift it about 2 inches on each side. This side we did like 8 turns, and that side we did around. Moving on to the back. So first we're gonna do the shocks. Moving the bottom. Got a little 18 socket on one side, 16 wrench on the other side. We'll remove the bottoms first. That'll help us. All right, so we had to force this motherfucker in. This thing was kind of bent inwards. I don't know what the previous owner did. I know this shit's been in a crash before, so maybe that's why. I basically had to hammer this in, we had to place this up top on this groove and let it slide in.
Compress
and
the
then
entire thing.
compress the whole thing up. We had to like hip thrust, like, oh yeah. And now we got it in, so we're gonna tighten this bottom bolt, tighten the top one, and this side is good. And we can move to the shackles on this side, but then we still. All right, we got both shocks in. This one was a little bit easier to put in because this wasn't as bent. We just hammered it in a little bit, forced the screw in, put the screw in on this side, and now she's good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the lift for the back. And to do that, we're gonna replace those shackles right there. All right, so what we're doing first is removing this top bolt on the shackle. That way this drops down and we have clearance to remove this bolt here. All I have is a crescent wrench. This is like a 20 or 22 or something like that. Got a little dark on us, so we brought out the fat ass shop light. We were struggling a little bit because our dumbasses had it jacked up from the differential, my dumbass. So now we're jacking it from the side of the frame, and this, when we removed the shackle, it pushed the leaf spring all the way up. So now that we relieved the pressure from the what's it called, differential, this thing dropped down, so now we can take out this bolt. Helps to use a breaker bar.
So we break the 21mm bolt, the shackle.
Got the shackle out. See the difference here?
Look at that. Wait.
You put them together. It's about 1.5 inches. This is 2 inches. I think this goes forward. You put your shackle in there. Alright, yeah, so we didn't go the full 2 inch because it was giving us trouble lining it up with the holes.
You adjust it later on though.
Yeah, might just adjust it later if we don't like the right height. This was kind of angled, so we had to adjust it with this jack. We didn't have one high enough, so we used these ghetto blocks. Don't worry, it should be fine. It's just lifting it a little bit. We're protected by the jack stand and the other jack. So just want to tighten this down by hand and then torque it down to 65 foot-pounds.
Wait till you hear the click.
It's almost there.
Yeah.
65.
Yay.
We're done on this side. Well, we gotta put the shock back in.
Yeah, Brian thought it would be a smart idea to take out the shock to relieve the tension, but didn't do shit because he had it jacked up on the differential. Stupid.
All right, we finished the back driver side. You see it has a not too crazy of a rake, but a little bit. Just what I wanted. I think if we went to 2 inches, it would have been a little bit too much. The back, we still gotta do the passenger side. You can see it's kind of tilted this way, like that. So once we get that, it'll lift back up. But it's getting late, so we're gonna call it a night and finish it up tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that. Sheesh, sheesh, sheesh. When your cousin Danny brings back your shatter backboards and you can use them as beaters again. She having a breakfast. Again, don't mind the mess, under construction. Welcome back. It is day 2 today. Last night we weren't able to finish the lift because it got a little late on us. Actually, we ran into a couple little hiccups, mostly because we were being dumbasses. But what happened was, first of all, we couldn't get one of the bolts out easily because we didn't have the right socket. So we're using a crescent wrench and it took us forever to get it out. But now today we finally have the 21mm socket for the shackles and we just impact those bitches right out. The second issue we ran into, and this is where we're being dumbasses, is when we removed the top bolt of the shackle, the whole spring went upwards and it got stuck, like the bolt where it crashed with the frame and we couldn't pull it out. But what we realized is we're being stupid and we had the car jacked up on the rear diff. So when you do that, the whole axle goes up, which in turn lifts up the whole leaf spring. That's what we were trying to explain last night. So basically what we did is we had to jack up the truck from the frame, remove the jack from the diff so it can drop the whole axle and the leaf spring, and then we were able to get access to that bolt and line everything up. It's a little difficult lining up the shackle because it doesn't line in perfectly, but once you get the bolt in and tighten it up, it straightens everything out. So we're gonna go ahead, have some breakfast, take this little pupper for her daily morning walk. Huh? You ready for a walk? And go from there. So bear with me. Install's almost done. We gotta test fit the wheels. Hopefully they fit. If not, I might have to run some spacers. So we're going from a 16 to a 15. So my biggest concern is that the wheel might hit the caliper ever so slightly. So we might have to either grind down the caliper or buy some like 1 to 2 inch spacers to push it out a bit. And yeah, that's about it. If none of that fixes the problem, then we might just have to go back to 16s, and hopefully I can get a refund or exchange on these wheels because I already bought them. Oh well, you live and you learn. So bear with me. Peace. All right, and we're back to working on the truck. So let me show you real quick. This is the last side we have to do. Before we were jacking up right there. Right now it's not jacked, it's just there for support, so it's barely touching. We got the jack stand right there as well for extra support. So what we did is we used this SUV jack and jacked up from the frame. So now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the wheel, and we're gonna get started on this side. A little ghetto fix because our jack isn't high enough, and we need to lift the lift spring to that hole right there. And looks like we're good right there. See? So be careful if you're gonna do this. Get a higher jack. Don't be like me. But yeah, that's what happens when you don't have the proper tools and you're drinking on the job. Shackle in there nice and torqued at the 1.5 inch mark right here. This would have been 2 inches, we went 1.5. Nothing too crazy. Everything's loosened up. We can now go ahead and put our wheel back on. What I'm gonna do before that is I'm gonna test fit the wheel. Not gonna show you guys that, sneak peek. But yeah, we're pretty much done. Now you tell it's slightly lifted, nothing crazy. Very slight rake, almost level. But that's fine, I like that. I don't like too much of a rake, I don't like it too level either. So it should be good. If we ever need to go higher in the future, I might just put it to the 2 inch. Who knows, maybe I'll get the super lift. It's too expensive though. But I say these things and then shit changes. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and measure each wheelbase and see where we're sitting at now. So about 1.5 inches of lift. And this other side, same, 37.5, slightly higher on this side. That's okay, it'll settle down once we drive a little bit. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I'm gonna test fit the front wheel, and then we got our lugs in today. So hopefully later today I can go to the tire shop and get the new wheels mounted and get an alignment too, because when you do torsion bar lifts, you want to align your vehicle. What's up, y'all? We're back. Still sipping on some Tío Rodrigo's micheladas. Sponsor us, I don't know. You see behind me, I got the Ranger. It's a new day. We didn't have time the other day whenever we filmed this, probably yesterday, to go get the wheels mounted and balanced because I had some work meetings to take care of. But we're here now with the Ranger. She's officially had the tires and wheels mounted and balanced. We also got her aligned. Check it out here. Got quite a bit of shade there, so we'll go around to the front. You can see the fitment. Got a little bit of poke, just what we wanted. Got the 32s on there with the 15-inch rims. We did have some problems with a little bit of rubbing on this side, on the inside caliper. So what happened is one of the brake clips was a little bit longer, so we just went in there and trimmed it, put the wheel back on. It's all good. When you do this, it's very important to get your car aligned, your truck aligned, anytime you mess with the torsion bars, just because it throws your alignment out of whack. You can see there our CV axle right there isn't too bent, maybe like 5 to 10 degrees of angle there. Anything more than that and it gets ridiculous, and you eat bearings away and ball joints and whatnot. But so far so good. But yeah, keep in mind this isn't a like 100% perfect best way to lift your truck. It's quick and easy, dirty way to do it. Your truck is gonna ride a lot stiffer, a little rougher ride, but you know, sacrifice a little bit here and there. But anyways, with that being said, we're gonna shoot some B-roll right now. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed. Peace.